my lovely people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It depends on where you're watching from. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. I love you guys. So my people, there's no way, that absolutely no way that you will come to talk for APC, PDP, that you will not be foolish. There's no way. There's nobody that will come to defend APC in everything that is happening, to defend APC or even PDP, because PDP were there before the APC took over and continue from where they stopped. Just absolutely, in this time that we are in, that any of you would try to come out, especially the APC, to come and defend Tinubu. There's no way anybody will want to come and defend Tinubu in thousands and thousands of Nigeria that are being deleted, in thousands and in millions of people that cannot find food to eat, that you will not look stupid. But a man tried. Somebody tried. and he didn't try to go to maybe TVC, those ones that are Lai Mohammed, those people that see the truth and turn it upside down, because that channel is Ahmed Bola Tinubu's channel. It's not from there. It's not there that they went, because if they have gone there, I wouldn't see it, because I don't watch their channel. But they went to Arise News to go and defend Ahmed Bola Tinubu. If you don't see it, you will think I be mumu. These people call themselves graduates. These people call themselves all manner of things. This one said that he's 61 years. He said he know Nigeria like in the palm of his hand. So I need you guys to hear what this man said. And when you finish, you let people see what they are dealing with. You know, we are the problem, because upon all these things that this man will say here now, election time will come. They will come and bribe Nigerians that are suffering. They will come and bribe Nigerians that cannot afford a cup of rice, yam or gari or whatever, to go and delete each other for the same people that are telling them this type of thing. So I need you to hear it. I don't want to make these videos so long. So I thank you all so much for your support, and I really, really appreciate and love every one of you from my heart. To you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Clearly hoping the recent protests in this country have now ended, even though the trigger for those demonstrations have not been properly addressed. And of course, the organizers have said they'll be back to push for more wholesale change. So the authorities are bracing for more activism, because so far the future doesn't look good and they want better. What is amazing and truly heroic is how the Nigerian people have been able to muster the will to soldier on and to take another step, another notch, another mile in a country where their overseers appear to have stopped thinking of anyone but themselves. You have to marvel at their resourcefulness and their ability to endure in the face of such stark deprivation. So what does all this mean going forward? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the APC chieftain, Otumba Biodun Ajiboye, who is also the Executive Secretary and CEO of the National Institute for Cultural Orientation. How nice to see you again.
Thank you very much, Charles. I'm back here.
Yes, indeed you are. How important is it for the Tinubu administration to mitigate the impact of these protests before they escalate into something that could potentially be more politically damaging for the president and the APC party?
Charles, at a point in the life of a country, we need to sit down and tell ourselves the truth. If anybody says to you that Nigeria is not confronting or confronted with or by so many issues, that fellow may not be truthful to himself. We have problems. But the problems of Nigeria didn't start today. I wonder why what we thought was going to end our years of recklessness as a nation. Yeah, for many years, Nigeria has been trying to mitigate against so many upturns in our policy, in our social life. But whether we did those things meticulously, such that can portend a good future for our children, I'm not convinced. So, the reckless of yesterday has haunted us so much today and has become a big problem for us all. Whether you are rich or poor, it doesn't make any difference anymore. But my issue is the inflation we are experiencing today will come at some point, and it has come. The best thing to do is to confront it and solve the problem. Okay, a couple of young people, in my view, pushed by some other people, have come to say, let us continue to protest without actually galvanizing the aim of that protest. What do they want to achieve? If you say end to bad governance, what do you mean? You want to topple government? What exactly is your aim? Nobody knows. You don't know.
Well, I think the broad strokes of it is end bad governance. But they've articulated specific things that they want done.
Like what, please?
One, for example, is to bring back the subsidy on fuel.
Okay, they told you that.
Because they said, they were here yesterday.
Oh, fantastic. So you know them. They now have a face.
They said
they very good.
Well, I don't know where you've been. You've probably been hiding in the office where you are, but I think the rest of Nigeria
I thought they didn't have a face.
Knows their faces.
Okay, so good.
And in fact, the government has arrested some of their people, so they must know who they are.
Okay.
One of them is the bringing back the fuel subsidy.
Okay.
There are so many things that they've actually asked for.
And I think they are saying
some of their people have been arrested. They want them released.
And give 250 minimum wage or something.
Yeah, 250,000 naira minimum wage.
So,
there are several demands.
Let us just discuss. We have enough to discuss. Those two are just too good enough for us to talk about. They said government should bring back fuel subsidy. They said government should do 250,000 minimum wage. I ask you, Charles.
You're asking me.
No, because you are a Nigerian. No.
I
I want to ask you a question, and I'd like you to listen and answer me. Why? We are both Nigerians. We are both adults of almost the same age.
Yeah, but I'm wondering why you're asking me the question.
I'm asking
you're
Nigerians.
You're a part of the federal government. You should be talking to the protesters.
Is it feasible for government to pay 250,000 minimum wage? Of course, the Labour Congress have been on this matter for so long. They have resolved with the government that certain amount of money is just not feasible. As a matter of fact, the private sector said categorically they cannot afford to pay. So if the economy cannot absorb a demand, how do they intend to achieve it?
Well, let me attempt to.
Okay, there are issues.
Let me attempt to put an answer to that question.
Okay.
Although clearly I don't speak on their behalf. but what I need to, the point they're making is that if the country is going through what the government says it is going through, then there needs to be demonstrable behavioral changes on the part of the government to fit that thing that they're saying to the Nigerian people is happening here. You see what I mean? To fit the optics that they're sending out. The point is that they're saying you can't be buying new aircraft. You can't be building new apartments, new buildings at billions of dollars for the vice president.
Billions of dollars.
Billions of naira.
Okay.
For the vice president. You can't be giving off those kinds of vibes. It's very important the way that you conduct yourself. You have to lead by example. You can't be telling people that you can't afford to do this, but then you go around and for your own officials, you spend a lot of money. They're looking at the National Assembly. They're looking at the presidency. They're looking at the monies that are being expended. And the impression that's being given to them is that they don't matter, but that those other people do.
That is, you see, I find, anyway, when I looked at them, I see that, quite frankly, they are young people. If you say that because you believe that government is extravagant, that's what I can take from that. And the resultant of that, or what you think should be the solution, is to be on the street and to continue to destroy public infrastructure.
No, that's a different
No,
thing.
no, I'm coming.
There are a few people who are doing...
You have caught me short twice. You have caught me short.
You asked me a question. That's why
as a
I
result
tried
of
to
your
answer
cutting me short, you are making
Go
me
ahead,
forget
please.
my point.
Go ahead.
So the issue is...
But don't make allegations that are
No,
not
it's
true.
not about allegations.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if you say that government is extravagant, that is your point. That is your issue. So the solution to extravagance of government is to be on the streets and be destroying public infrastructure.
No. They're on the streets to exercise their right to protest. There are a few elements within
Charles,
those ranks.
I live in Nigeria. I'm not you. You live in London.
Oh, come on.
I live
please.
here.
You see,
so I'm saying to you.
You see, this is the problem I have with you. You always try to find some backdoor way.
I'm saying to you that I know what
come on.
protests. If anybody tells you he wants to protest in Nigeria, there is no way. Tell me how many protests you have seen that haven't led or that didn't lead to public destruction. So we know it is just difficult. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah, but is it the fault of the protesters or the inability
That is why we
of
say,
the intelligence agencies and the security agencies to maintain law and order? It is the job of them to protect the protesters and to protect property.
In 2012, a group of patriotic Nigerians came out to protest in Ojota. I was in Ojota. We had a face to that protest. Buhari was in that protest. John Oyegun was in that protest. Bola Tinubu was in that protest. That is a protest that had a meaning. The people protesting are known.
Oh, so
I'm coming. I'm making a point.
does...
I am coming. You are always cutting me short.
Go on.
I must make my point. That was a protest that had a face, a genuine intent. And you could hold those protesters accountable for whatever happens by their followers. Okay? That is a kind of protest government should say, okay, fine, go ahead. It is democratically constitutional for you to express your misgivings about bad governance. There's no doubt about it. Things are hard. I mean, everybody knows there's inflation in Nigeria. Even I know, you know. Therefore, we are saying, when they now said, fast forward to 2020, there was something they called NSAS. I was here. And
I was here as well.
NSAS ended in serious catastrophe. If you were in Lagos, you shed tears. I was right in Lagos at the time. Everybody was crying. They were destroying everything, and it didn't have any correlation with a police brutality. How does police brutality, will make anybody to go and burn high courts, City Hall? About a lot of infrastructure just destroyed. They attempted to break Ikoyi prison. Kirikiri. What are we talking about? So we know once they say they want to protest, they are just trying to destroy public peace.
That's a very, very unfair generalization.
No, but okay, tell me one protest you have seen that not led to public destruction.
The issue is not...
We are talking statistics and logic. I am asking you, Charles, tell me one protest you know that not led to public destruction. If you tell me 2, I'll tell you 5 that have led to public destruction. So therefore, in view of the fact that we know that there's going to be public destruction of infrastructure, it is better to say, come in a conference format, express yourself, say what you want, put your points across. Let us sit down and discuss, deliberate, and dialogue. After destruction, there will be dialogue. Even those who went to war and they killed themselves, look at what happened in Rwanda. Didn't they negotiate at the end of the day? Well, whether war, whether discussion,
I think you've made
discuss.
the point, okay?
So therefore, I am saying to these young people, if you know that you cannot be accountable for whatever happens from the action you precipitate, you better think twice.
Right. Well, there are 2 sides to that story. You made an allegation against them. They made an allegation against the government. They say that the government infiltrates their ranks and plants people in there to cause some kind of destruction. Hold on, it's not a matter of belief.
Okay,
it's a matter hold on, you're interrupting me now. We're not in a court of law.
But I am your guest. I'm the one that is supposed to be speaking. You are supposed to ask me questions.
But you asked me a question, and therefore I'm answering you. So you want to ask? Is it a rhetorical?
Okay. Now I am Arise TV. You are Otumba Ajiboye. Let's go on.
Is it a rhetorical question which answers itself? Because if it is, I won't speak, and you can speak on.
No, go ahead, please, Charles.
The point is that they have a right to be heard.
Correct.
Okay,
I agree.
That's number one. Number two, they allege that their demonstrations are broadly peaceful, that they are infiltrated by people who are planted there to cause mayhem. The point I think we need to focus on is not, you did say at the outset that you didn't want this to be combative.
No.
Yeah.
We have to appeal,
so you wanted to have a
discussion.
Twice. But when you're throwing these kinds of allegations against them, that's not going to ameliorate their tempers. Let me just make this point and then you can continue.
Okay, please go ahead.
Because you might have won the election, or as some would see it, you said you won the election.
No, you don't say all of that. That's not right.
No, hold on.
You won the election.
Let me just,
you went to court. You lost in court.
Not me.
So then why do you say we claim to win the election?
No. I am simply being journalistic.
No, don't be journalistic. Be straightforward.
But do you agree? Yeah. Do you agree that you may have won the election?
We won the election.
No, hold on.
Hold on. We won the election squarely.
Let me make the point.
But choose the right words and language.
Can I make the point?
You will make the point if you say it properly.
You might have won the election.
We won the election.
No, let me finish the
Please,
sentence.
Go ahead,
it's an incomplete sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
When you hear the rest of it, then you can assess what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. You might have won the election, but you now appear to be losing the race for the hearts and minds of the Nigerian people by the style of governance that the president and your party has chosen to adopt, and the way that he and his administration, of which you are a part, come across to the Nigerian people. Would you agree to that?
Charles, please be fair. Be fair for once.
What do you mean for once? We're always fair.
You need to be fair, and I'll tell you what's going on. This is a country we all know very well. I was born here 61 years ago. I know this country like the back of my hand. Nobody can tell me any story about Nigeria. Look, anybody coming to sit before you to say that government planted people, it's not hard enough. You want to go and attack a man in his house, and you are saying that he already has people to attack him so that they will claim that you are the ones that attacked him. How logical does that sound? See.
Well, there are a lot of illogical things in this country.
Let's be very honest. And you say again that the Nigerian people are against us. I don't understand.
No, I didn't say it.
No,
what I said was that you appear to be losing the race for the hearts and minds of the people. When we started this discussion...
You are an Englishman.
When we started this discussion... You're quite a guy, aren't you? When we started this discussion, you were very clear at the beginning that the Nigerian people have the justifiable right to be angry and hurt.
The mode of expression makes a lot of difference.
Okay, let's change the style of discussion. Let's change the... Let's put it the foot on the shoe on the other foot. How do you think the Tinubu administration, of which you are a part, can and should vector the anger and the disappointment of the Nigerian people?
I'm being very honest with you. I have children as grown as them. I have empathy. I can understand what they are going through.
Where are your children? Are they all going?
Oh, my children are here.
Are they all going to school in Nigeria?
Oh, yeah.
All of them?
All of them. The one that went abroad had come back about 5 years ago.
Okay, so some of them went abroad.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay.
They're here.
But go on, please.
But my point is simple. Bola Tinubu is a passionate leader. Anybody who knows him will know how passionate he is about this country and how well this country should be governed. I have related with him, and I can vouch for his commitment to good governance. Now, this is a man who just came to power 1 year, 3 months. This is a man, see, Nigeria was already on his knees as at 2023 when we came. 97%, I am coming.
The same
no, let me
party,
make my point. 97%,
the same party, the APC.
97% of our revenue.
But it's the same party, isn't it?
Let me make my point.
But it is the same party.
97% of our revenue was used to service debts.
By your party.
I'm coming now. Whatever you say, 2015 was not the beginning of Nigeria. Your party was in power before 2015. No,
my party?
Yeah, everybody. Look, I have told you that you can't tell me the story of Nigeria. I know the story of Nigeria, and I know where everybody belongs.
Yeah, but I would urge you to be circumspect in the way that you make your allegations.
Okay, so you don't have a party, no problem.
Clearly not.
Nigeria didn't start in 2015. The party that ruled Nigeria before 2015 had its own mess. Whatever you say, however you look at it, Bola Tinubu inherited a government that was using 97% of its revenue to service debts.
But you concede that that is an APC government.
Why do you keep saying that?
But it is an APC government.
Okay, if I say it's APC government, what problem will it solve in this discussion?
No.
If I say it's not APC government, how will it solve?
Yeah,
so let's
but it's good to put things in context. Go on,
so you
please.
know the party that ruled Nigeria.
Go on, please.
So therefore, I'm saying 97% of our revenue, of Nigeria's revenue, was used to service debts. Now, fuel was subsidized, petroleum subsidy, electricity was subsidized. Naira against dollar, foreign exchange subsidized. We were meant to do 2 million barrels of crude, OPEC to OPEC. We are doing a portion of 700 barrels per barrels, 700,000.
And that was your party, the APC.
Wait now, due to oil theft in the Niger Delta, due to oil theft.
Which you couldn't manage,
So, therefore,
your party.
Therefore, 2023, we came to power with this kind of rot on the table. We couldn't move forward.
You mean you continued in power?
You understand?
Your party
we couldn't
continued
move forward
in
from
power.
this point.
But
and
you-
the point
but you
remains that
continued in
you
power.
will not allow us to
letting you
make
speak,
a very
but-
good
but-
discussion
but
if
you-
you keep to truncate my thoughts.
But you continued
No,
in
you
power.
don't do that. Let me finish my thought
Go
process.
on.
Let it go well. Then when I deliver, you can ask questions, then I'll answer.
Go on.
Therefore, so Bola Tinubu came in 2023 with all these things on the table. Nigeria doesn't even have enough revenue to meet up with its obligations. Now, the previous government did not provide for fuel subsidy for June 2023, for instance. So that Bola Tinubu says fuel subsidy is gone did not mean he wasn't in power. He couldn't have removed fuel subsidy the first day in Eagle Square. Therefore, fuel subsidy was no longer there as at the time we took over, or Bola Tinubu took over. Therefore, anybody saying that he removed fuel subsidy is just ignorant. My point is, with all this plethora of problems, there must be a way out. The way out is that we need to tighten our belts. Nigeria was going down, sinking 2,500 feet below sea level. Now, if a surgical operation is not done immediately, whether they protest or they don't protest, naturally Nigeria will fizzle out. So, for Nigeria not to fizzle out, somebody says, let me take the bull by the horn. Let us find a way to salvage this country. On one part, genuinely. There are other people, election losers, this, that feel, no, we will make this country ungovernable for this man. They are orchestrating, calling people to be protesting here and there. So they started the protests. If that protest can be curtailed, they gave them MKO Abiola Stadium. Protest here. Say whatever you want to say here. How did we get to public destruction? That public destruction part of it has removed every good thing about that protest. So, I will advise, let them put up a conference A conference is even more methodical than street protest, because the conference will have adequate media coverage and the deaf will hear.
But let's just be clear on a number
So
of things.
therefore,
You've made your point.
Yes.
Yeah, we're fast running out of time.
The protest on the street is not good for this economy.
Okay, well, number one, you concede that the economy is in serious trouble.
Oh, yes.
Right, okay, and that people are hurting badly as a result.
Oh, yes. So we need to be encouraged to be able to put the right things on the
that
table.
they have the right to express that hurt
I
by
agree with that.
way of protest.
I agree with that.
And that the bigger those protests are, the more the message of their anger and their disappointment towards the Tinubu government is likely to hit home. Those are facts that you've conceded to. The other point, of course, is that with all due respect to you, a lot of people listening will concede that you are pretty much an echo chamber. And an echo chamber simply means that you're clearly partisan, and people know that politically you belong to the Tinubu camp and the APC. And therefore, public trust in some of what you say is quite likely to be low.
Everything I've said can be verified. That I belong to APC does not mean I don't have a right to speak. That I belong to APC or this government does not mean I'm not seeing what is going on. Don't I have children in school?
Of course you have a right to speak.
Don't I have children in school? Don't I buy things? Don't I know that a basket of pepper is expensive, or tomatoes? Don't I know when inflation is hitting a country that I live in? That's not an issue. The issue is everything I've said is a statement of fact. So I haven't even said that those people don't have a right to protest. Yeah, they obviously have a right to protest. But the Nigerian state has a right to protect the citizens of Nigeria. At the point that you protest and you disturb other people's right to movement, free movement, you're already hampering their own fundamental rights.
Let's leave the issue of protest for a minute. Okay. Do you concede that this government is responsible for tanking the economy to the point where it is right now by the two policies that you took at the same time, which have had a tremendously debilitating effect on the Nigerian economy and the people? Do you concede that?
Are you saying to me, Charles, that if they hadn't removed fuel subsidy and tried to find a balance for Naira against the dollar, we will not have inflation? Is that what you're saying? Of course not. Whether they did what they did at the time this government came in or not, we would have even been worse now. And I'll tell you why. There was no way we could have continued with the fuel subsidy. We just do not have the resources to continue.
But the fuel subsidy is back in some ways.
I don't know the ways, but I am saying that fuel subsidy was removed, right, and as a result of which, it caused inflation. I agree. Now, Nigeria does not have enough resources to subsidize most of the things we are subsidizing. The truth remains that we have a lifestyle in this country that is so expensive that we can't even match up with our resources. We spend so much money on human air. I hope you know that. So much, billions of dollars a year. Women here. So much on alcohol, beverages, so much money. We need to recalibrate Nigeria. Our style of living as a people need to change. How do I mean? It's very simple. What are the things we import that cannot be made in this country? None. None. Are you saying that, see, my agency is a cultural agency, it's about culture. And because we see that the problem is getting seriously painful for people, we say, okay, let us start a cultural technology department. What will it do? Look at everything we use, Let us look, see, the Chinese people made so much impact with bamboo, ordinary bamboo. We have a lot of natural resources. All we need to do is to put our heads down, think properly, and be able to turn most of these things into domestic, manufacture. We can manufacture most of the things we spend a lot of dollars on in this country. Okay. This is the place we should go. This is where we should be. All of those boys, young boys on the street protesting should come and attend to issues, begin to make things. China closed their borders for 30 years. And they produced what they were eating. For 30 years, they closed their borders because it was getting to a point where if they did not look inward, they would collapse. China today is one of the greatest nations of the world.
Well,
we can do the same in Nigeria. We need to be determined. And if we are determined, this is exactly the kind of lesson Bola Tinubu is putting across to all of us.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you very much.
Too short. Why? Anytime I come here, I just...